Goes out to a young man that I had a privilege of having in my class this year. He began each day with a positive attitude and exemplified what it meant to be a good person. He could always be counted on to help out when needed. Now, if I could only convince him to let go of his love of Dungeons & Dragons. The valedictorian for the 2014 graduating class is Owen.
Go, oh.
Good!
Go! Owen! Love you!
Good evening, staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Focus on the journey, not the destination. Joy is found not in finishing an activity, but in doing it. A quote from best-selling American author Greg Anderson. Graduation. What is graduation? The dictionary defines it as a ceremony of conferring degrees or diplomas, as at a school. But for us, it means more than that. We've laughed together, we've cried together, we've even yelled at one another. We've literally grown up together. We're family. All of us have either won an award, won a championship, won the competition, or won the crowd. Some of us are great at sports, while others are great at other areas, such as academics, music, art, or drama. Some of us can dance, others not so much. Some people, you might say, have some of the most important qualities, and that's just being a good, kind, and supportive person. You might say this group is something special. Our teachers at Sacred Heart would agree. They have instilled in us the knowledge we need for both our academic and our social life. But just as important, they taught us to be ourselves. It's been a heck of an adventure, and I'm sad to see it end. But like all good things, this too must end. It all started with a walk with our parents to the front door of Sacred Heart Catholic School 10 years ago. Yes, parents, it's been 10 years. With that walk, our parents entrusted us to the school, and we were officially accepted into what would become our new home. On the first day of school, some of us were excited, others nervous. This was the year for getting used to the school environment. We had a simple schedule: circle time, play, color, snack, repeat. We didn't have a care in the world, but it was really a year for starting to know our future friends and classmates. But it was also a warm-up for our educational career. Over the next few years, our young and curious minds developed some more. We made new best friends every year. With the help of our amazing teachers, some of them here tonight, we managed to get through those primary years. We were being molded into the people we are today. When we transitioned into the junior grades, it was a noticeably tougher road. We had more independence, yet more obstacles and responsibilities. We were still on a path to becoming the people we are today. The junior grades were a time of change in our lives. New friends, schoolwork, extracurricular activities. Our simple schedule of primary grades was not so simple anymore. It was also a time when our family was becoming closer. And like all families, we have our crazy stories. I mean, who could forget the shirt in the toilet incident? I know Mr. Borland won't. Rumor has it he's still working on a time machine. Gary! The last major transition we had from the junior years to the senior years. These past 2 years flew by with a lot of excitement. These were the years where we really started to become a family. Grade 8, the closing ceremonies, the last obstacle before the new course. It's our last chance to make an impression on each other. It's our turn to shine, to be ourselves, to dry the cement of the handprint that each of us made 10 years ago. This year was special. We were closer than any other year. We had more laughs and tears than any other year. Here's a summary of the year from two girls in Mr. Borland's class. This year's been short. Shorter than Kennedy. But it was pretty funny. Almost as funny as Gina playing soccer. We're surprised that Mr. Borland hasn't pulled out his hair yet. Mrs. Schaefer hasn't broken a heel off of somebody's head. Well, moving on then. This year is also the year of the famous Muskoka trip. The memories made from that will last a lifetime, or at least a couple of years. There were giant swing cusses, boots slapping, canoe tipping, the infamous belaying, and many more memories. That was an experience I won't forget. This year was also an important year for our Catholic faith. Most of us received confirmation on March 2nd, and it was something we'd been preparing for since November. On that day, we all became adults in the eyes of the Catholic Church. Grade 8 is the first year where we really started to think about our future. We're in that awkward stage of being in between childhood and adulthood, both physically, mentally, and socially. It is the last lily pad before the huge leap to the next bunch. A lot was expected from us in grade 8. This is the last year our lives will be as we know it. Next year, and in the coming years, our lives will change completely. In my opinion, we all filled our years with hard work, charity, sportsmanship, talent, and most importantly, humor. Last year, for our grade 7 end of the year field trip, we went to the Family Fun Center. One of our friends couldn't make it for medical reasons, so a few of us put our heads together and decided that we were going to win him a DS with the arcade tickets. Nearly all of us joined the campaign, and in the end, we came up with the 30,000 tickets needed for the DS. Our teachers were very proud of us. Once the Sacred Heart family is motivated, there's no stopping us from reaching our goal. The Sacred Heart sports teams and clubs did awesome this year. Our girls made the finals in soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Our boys won the Villanova tournament in both volleyball and basketball. Our badminton, cross-country, track and field, chess, robotics, and dance teams and clubs had many great team and individual performances. The drama club. What can I say? I guess there's only two things. One, when you're playing a blind man and go to touch a girl's shoulder, open your eyes just a tiny bit. When you find yourself facing the challenge of squeezing yourself into a locker, make sure it is extremely secure. We all know what happens when it's not. These past 10 years have made up the bulk of our memories, and for most of us, our lives revolved around this school. We've worked hard all our lives and ended up here. We have brains in our head, we have feet in our shoes, we can steer ourselves any direction we choose. We're on our own, and we know what we know, and we are the ones who decide where to go. Quote from Dr. Seuss, "Oh, the places you'll go." Some schools call this ceremony a commencement ceremony. The definition of graduation and the definition of commencement are nearly identical, which is interesting. To commence means to start, but to start what, you may ask? Well, we are starting a new stretch in the race of life. We will run it at different places and finish it with different experiences and different goals. After this year, there's no telling where we'll go. We'll make new friends, keep some of old. We'll succeed sometimes and fail in others. We'll be sitting down for a roller coaster with plenty of ups and downs. At first, whether we want to be a doctor, writer, professional hacker, or FIFA player, we will all start off on the same path. But as the years progress, we will slowly drift in different directions. The future will be tough. We'll be faced with all types of challenges: academics, sports, social pressures, and living up to all sorts of expectations are just some of the things we'll have to face. High school will be a very different experience than grade school. We'll have more opportunities to succeed, but at the same time fail. Don't be afraid of failing, because it'll only push us to be better. Life isn't about being the best or breezing by. Sometimes we need to fail in order to stay on the right path, and we'll know it is the right path if we choose to stay on it. Luck can't always be in our favor, so we must learn to adapt. I can guarantee that all of us will have a down moment or two in high school, and we will get over it. Life is no easy ride, but remember, we have a lot of it left, and whatever challenge we're facing today will be a mere shadow tomorrow. Be who you are, and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. A quote from Theodore Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss. As Dr. Seuss states, be who you are. Everyone else is taken. No one else can be you, so why not embrace it? Pope John Paul II said, become who you are. It might take some time to find out who you really are, but in the end, you'll figure it out. It's the only way you're going to conquer the obstacles in your path. It is the only way to follow your dreams and be the best person you can be. God has made us in His image. We are good. But we can't do it alone. Our relationships with other people are what matter. We have a great support system, our family. Whenever we hit a rough patch, they'll be there for us, and they won't mind. You'll meet approximately 100,000 people in your lifetime, whether they're a clerk at a corner store, a classmate in school, or your first boss. We have a choice to make. We can either be that guy or girl who sits in the corner and watches everyone else, or we can be the person who leaves a mark on everyone we meet. God made all of us, and we need to use the gifts He gave us to their full potential. So in high school, get out there, join a team, join a club, make friends, enjoy your high school experience. As you've heard many times, this is just another milestone in a long journey. There are two types of people in this world, those who are amazed and those who are amazing. I may be valedictorian of our grade at graduation, and I may get to keep the trophy, but in reality, I'm just narrating the story of our time together. No one but us has the memories we've made these past 10 years. It's time for us now to be our own valedictorians and tell our own story to the world. Your time to shine is now. Be the light that shines brightly no matter the time. Our next destination awaits us. The journey continues. Be amazing.
Well, I would hate to be Mr. Borderland at this time, because now he has to follow that with his speech.
Yes, sir. Go, sir! I like this song.
That is going to be a tough act to follow, but I'll keep it short. First of all, thanks to you, parents, guardians, family, for coming out tonight. I know you kind of had to, but it's still great to have you here to celebrate 10 years of success. Parents and guardians, you've done a great job up until this point, but you know your job's not finished. These wonderful young people will continue to need your guidance in whatever form that takes, and they won't mind. Students, congratulations. You've done it. You made it. It's been a long journey. It's taken the majority of your lives to get to this point. Just as you're happy about finishing 10 years of school, at least another 4 await. So on behalf of everyone at Sacred Heart, I wish you much luck in high school. Remember, work as hard as you can and the rest will work itself out. And I'd like to finish with a quote from a song by the Avett Brothers called Head Full of Doubt, Road Full of Promise, which is kind of a fitting title for tonight. There was a dream, and one day I could see it, like a bird in a cage. I broke in and demanded that somebody free it. And there was a kid with a head full of doubt. So I'll scream till I die, and the last of those bad thoughts are finally out. I'd like to think that this is what we, as a staff at Sacred Heart, have done for you. Hopefully we saw your dream and demanded that somebody free it. And if there was a kid with a head full of doubt, which I'm sure there was, I hope that we screamed enough till the last of those doubts were out. And I'm sure that the staff at your new school will continue screaming to drive those doubts out in high school. It's been a pleasure to teach you, some of you twice, coach you and help you for these last 10 years. We've watched you grow up. Now, as Owen has so eloquently stated a few minutes ago, go be amazing. Thank you. Just a couple points of housekeeping before we start the grad video. Guests, we'd like you at the end of the grad video to remain seated. The graduates will file out to some music, and you're welcome to follow them out and take pictures in the foyer, and there'll be some refreshments out there for all of you. Also, I'd like to take this chance to, a moment to thank the staff for coming out. As you can see, we've got a full crowd here, so it goes to the dedication of our school. We even got an alumni. Mr. Way made it out. This was his last group that he taught when he was at Siggart before he transferred to his new school. So it was great to see him come out. And it was great that the parish staff came out as well. Thank you very much. And on that note,